If your web person quit today, walked out the door, or if something should happen to you, would your income producing websites disappear too? And the income that you and your family depend on every month, would that also go away? Are you starting to feel just a little bit vulnerable knowing that most of your sales and your leads are coming from your websites and your internet properties? And if they go down, you've got major problems on your hands? And what about every time that you open up your desk drawer? Are you faced with a mountain of sticky little notes and little folded pieces of paper and notebooks full of usernames and passwords? And do you like look at this stuff and you say, man, I need to get this stuff organized? But just the thought of doing that overwhelms you. Well, today I want to talk to you about website succession planning software. It's an easy software solution to keep your usernames, your passwords, online business information organized, secure, and offline, just in case. Now, over the years of working with a lot of website owners, I found out that there are 4 things that you must know and be in control of. What do you have? Where is it? How do you access it? And who has access to it? The website succession planning software is divided into 21 specific information areas, and these areas are unique to websites and internet properties. It also contains 15 very comprehensive management reports so that you'll know every aspect of your online business. It's easy, it's menu driven, there's no special training required, it's built on the FileMaker platform. It's a simple matter of point, click, and type. I learned something from Evan Pagan a long time ago that nobody ever should control the black box of your business. And this software helps you stay in control of the black box of your business. It removes the layers and levels of risk, and it keeps your online business assets safe in case something should happen. And if someone needs to step into your shoes, they're going to need this information. They're going to need it to keep your websites and online businesses up and running. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. As I said, everything is menu driven. It's a matter of you point, you click, and you type. When you receive your software, when you click on the owner button, you're going to see this is you. And so we've set this up for information about you. And I want to show you how very easy it is just to change the information. Just delete it and type over it. And when you do this, it's automatically saved. You don't have to worry about saving any of the information. So let's go back to the main menu, click on the owners, and you see how easy it was to change that information. Let's go back to the owner screen. This is where you would add or edit any information about you as a business owner. And for your convenience, we've also included shortcuts to the other main information areas about you as an owner. This also is available from the main menu. The business information you would add would be information about your business, address information, etc. If you have special businesses and companies that you do business with that are connected to your business, you can enter that information here, as well as individual contacts with each of those companies that you do business with. And all available from the main menu. Bank accounts, doesn't matter how many bank accounts that you have, how many banks that you deal with, there's plenty of room to deal with that. In this case, Paul deals with 2 banks. You would enter specific account information, whether it's checking, savings, money market, merchant account. You can enter that for each bank that you deal with. And then you'll also want to be sure to set up access information so that people will know who has access to these accounts. Email accounts, once again, our lives are being so controlled and determined by email service providers because so much of our lives now are tied into email accounts. So you'll have the opportunity from the main menu to choose email accounts, enter your email service provider, and enter any of the email addresses that you have that are connected with that service provider. You want to keep track of your software so that somebody following in your footsteps, if they have to, will know what software that you use within your business, what the cost was, who the vendor was, how to contact it, any special notes that they have as well. And you also want to do the same thing with your computers. And one thing that's special about the way this is set up is so that you are able to enter a password so that people will know what the password is for your laptop or any of your desktop computers, because if something should happen to you and nobody knows what this password is, they can't access any of the other information that's important for running your company. So you want to make sure that one other person besides you knows what the password is on how to get into your laptop or your desktop computer systems. And there's provisions made for it, like within the software. The other thing that we want to talk about is what drives your online business, and that would be your domains and the other free sites that you use. So let's cover the domains. It's real easy. Just go ahead and just all you have to do is type in the name of a domain name, and it's registered. I mean, it's within your system. You could put down when your renewal date would be, um, and the amount of money that you paid for it, and that's all there is to it. The next thing you'd want to do is you'd want to enter all of the payment information that's connected to this domain so that it never expires. So you know what the credit card is, which is securing this, the expiration date, what bank issued it, and the domain name that's been assigned to it. And then you would also want to enter your registrar information, and you'll also want to make sure that you can register information if this is within a sub-account within a main domain registrar company. And provisions have been made for that for you to be able to do that. In addition to, once you have that registered, you can enter the renewal years, the registration fees, any forwarding fees that you might have, any type of annual fees that you have, and then it'll also provide what your annual domain expense is for that specific domain name. And then from here, you want to register what your hosting is, and you want to make sure that if it's sitting on a reseller account, that you want to make sure that that information is provided as well, so that you would know if it's sitting on somebody else's account, or whether or not it's within something that you've done a single web hosting for. In this case, there's room for you to enter account names, account numbers, IP address, how you would access a cPanel, what the username, password is for that, what the name servers are, what your monthly hosting is, and that calculates out to an annual hosting fee, and also the credit card that you've got on file that secures your hosting accounts. And then from there, you'd want to enter your FTP or file transfer protocol information for this domain, so that you would know where you're going to send your data to keep your information on all of your websites current and fresh. And so here again, there's your FTP address, the path, URLs, usernames, passwords, etc. A lot of people overlook the fact that they have subdomains. So anytime that you create a subdomain, you're going to need special FTP and address information for that, as well as usernames, passwords. And a lot of people don't realize that when you set up a blog on a website, it goes into either the main website, or it could also go into its own directory. And if that's the case, you're still dealing with information to access that directory, as well as a username and a password to access that blog in itself. And so all of that information is complete, and it's here. And with each record that you create dealing with domain names, you have, it shows you on the final screen who the registrar is, who the domain owner is, where who's hosting it, the FTP server, if there's any subdomains or other directories. All that information is contained on this screen. Something else a lot of people don't think about is when you're using social media sites or other free Web 2.0 sites, you're also, even though you don't own this, you also are tied in with usernames, passwords, email accounts. So this is an area that we've created for you to keep track of those sites, such as Facebook, Twitter, Google, eZine, articles, Squidoo, I'm sorry, I want to say Hot Paint, but it's not. Hub Pages, Wet Paint, Zimbio, whatever site that you're dealing with. But you'll notice that even on the free WordPress site, you'll notice that you're dealing with an access URL, usernames, passwords, and emails. Again, there's that important email account number that associated with those accounts. So, and then all that you would also want to be able to enter from here is information as far as who has access to this. So this will show you like more specific information as far as, like, let's take Facebook. If you've got a fan page, it shows you what the fan page name is, username, password, and the email account that's associated with it. And then again, if you can set up who has access to each of these individual accounts, so that only those people who are authorized can access them. Special areas set up for ICANN information, because annually your registrars are going to want to know to update the information as far as your contact information. So that's been set up here in case somebody needs that information. And as well as domain appraisals, we went ahead and included this so that if in the event that somebody tried to go to a person and say, hey, I'll give you $50 for that website, but if you've had it appraised, you have an appraisal date, who the source was that made the appraisal, and also what they appraised it at. Nobody's going to try to take advantage of somebody by saying, hey, that domain or that website's only worth $50. I'll give you $50 for it. So this is somewhat of a second layer of protection for you. The areas of income that you'd be, concerned about is, your affiliate program income. Some of the popular ones are Google and Amazon. You could set those up. Then again, you would just set up how you access it, usernames, passwords, the email account associated with it, annual income, how the payment is made, whether it's automatic deposit or if there's a check, and what the bank account number is, where that information goes. And then you would again set up access privileges for who's authorized to access this account. Products that you have that you sell, again, you're the owner, this is your information, you can keep track of it by your item number or SKU, product name, product type, what the selling price is, annual revenue, what your cost is. And here's another thing that's important for copyrights and trademark information. You want to make sure that you record the location of the original work, the date it first appeared, where it appeared, and then also you have room here for the notes for any kind of descriptions or anything that you would want. Again, you would set up as well access privileges for people, or even people who have specialized knowledge of this product. Joint venture partners are very important again. So you would set up those that you would have joint ventures with. And then you would also add contact information for them, email information. You can go as deep as you want with it. And, I'm sorry, that's contact, sorry. Then you would add the products that each of these companies sell for you, so that you would know who you've assigned products to, what the selling price is of the product, and what their commission structure is. And then arrangements have been made here, so because a lot of people want to use an outside service company to track their sales and manage the payments to these affiliates, or you can have in-house payment information such as a credit card, so you would be able to enter that information right here. Joint venture sales, again, you can track, like what the service companies that you're using for them, and you can set up that information right here, and other types of services from these outside companies. You also want to keep track of the service companies that you use, such as like for email marketing. Let's use iContact. So you could set this up as a service company, what their address is, how to contact them, and then the types of services that you would use from them. Again, this has your account information, email, username, password, monthly fees, the size of the fee is based, whether it's the size of the list or how often you mail, etc., and how you pay for it. So this is the area where you would enter the service companies that you use in your business. The next area of information I want to share with you are the reports. There are 15 management reports, and they are basically one-click, easy to see at a glance reports. And I'll just show you one today that is very, very slick, and it's the overview of your total expenses and what you're spending and basically what you're making. And in this case, I only am going to enter the initial P for Paul Portal, and this will give an overview glance as far as the amount of the total domain registration fees, forwarding fees, private registration. It's going to give a total annual domain expense that Paul spends, hosting, outside service companies, what the fees are for email service providers, software, any kind of computer purchases or hardware purchases. Also controls your income or inflow, not controls, but shows you basically the amount of affiliate income that you're making, as well as product sales. And also I want to show you that there is an easy way, if this information is too small for you to see, down in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, just a matter of clicking to reduce it, or you can click to increase the size of it so that you can see all of the information. But because of the size of the screen for this demonstration, I kept it at 100%. But you can control the size of what you see on your screen just by clicking on one of two buttons at the lower left-hand corner.